Welcome back. While the largest contemporary art fair in Africa is taking place in Cape Town, the 10th edition of the Investec Art Fair promises an intimate experience despite the wide variety. The three-day event will see more than 100 artists showcasing their work. Tens of thousands of guests from all over the world are flocking to the city to appreciate their unique talent. For more on this, I'm joined now by Mia Low from the fair. Mia, thank you so much for your time and a very good morning to you. I mean, certainly, it is a beautiful showcase, a spectacle. Obviously, it's marking a decade as the city's premier visual. Talk to us a little bit about the fair and exactly what can be anticipated.
Good morning, Faye. Thank you so much for having me. So we're really excited about celebrating the 10th edition of the Investec Cape Town Art Fair. The fair started in 2013 as a small event at the waterfront, and today we cover 6,000 square meters at the CTICC and is known as Africa's largest art fair. We encourage everyone to visit the fair today. You can purchase a ticket on web tickets. We've got a talks program happening, and we have walkabouts happening, all included in your ticket price.
You know what is beautiful about it is that galleries that have actually been represented have come from Angola, Tunisia, I mean, even Cote d'Ivoire, just to name but a few countries. What does that say about being able to expose some of our talent, particularly South African artists, to never mind the continental community, but also to the global community? How are we doing in that?
I think it's a really important moment for Africa, the Investec Cape Town Art Fair, because it places art from the continent on a complete international pedestal. So not separate from international art, it's all celebrated under one roof.
And of course, on the other side of it, it's about developing new talent. And a lot of times, some of this new talent even comes from those undiscovered crevices, right? A lot of and I truly believe that the most talented of people also come from our townships. They come from our rural communities. They just do not have the exposure so that their art is able to transcend their actual limitations. How do we do that practically in terms of being able to spot some of this talent that is sitting in the most probably vulnerable spaces and expose them to opportunities that may come from the Investec Cape Town Art Fair?
So the Investec Art Art Fair, I think, really does make an effort, especially the galleries, to search for talent. I think just a massive trend at the moment in the art industry is artists working with materials that are available to them. So not just your traditional oil paintings or bronze mediums that are actually quite inaccessible to artists, but anything that's available, artists are using and being celebrated. So I really think that, yeah, at the fair, there is a big focus on artists using all of these kind of materials.
Let's talk a little bit about the art now for just a little bit. How do we use 4IR tools to be able to perhaps make art relevant to this fifth industrial revolution that we're speaking about? Are we just seeing now the art, as I say, evolve just from the oil paints and the like to perhaps adapt to a more digital spectrum?
So, I think post-pandemic, the art world has really changed. It's opened up. So it being known as quite an elitist space, I think, in the pandemic just became very accessible to everyone. Artists went on Instagram. They're selling their own work without being represented. Galleries have gone online. Art has just become much more accessible and for everyone. So I think it's kind of evolved into a space that a lot of people can enter and be a part of.
23,000 visitors are anticipated, 6,000 or so VIPs are also expected. Says something about the contribution to the economy, number one, economic development, especially within the city of Cape Town, but also just around being able to foster sustainability for these artists. At the end of the day, artists need to be able to eat. And how do we see this model then sustained for the person that is actually curating the art, but also the artist?
So the fair makes a massive effort in bringing collectors from right around the world. We host collectors at the Western Hotel, which is right opposite the CTICC, and through a variety of people, we invite a lot of people. So during this weekend, we really do have a lot of visitors coming from overseas, celebrating not only the fair, but the art ecosystem in South Africa and the city. So on that side, I mean, it's a really important moment for the city. And then for the artists, it's massive. It's an opportunity to meet galleries from overseas that can potentially represent them. It's definitely an opportunity to make sales because, yes, you do need to make sales. And yeah, there's just it's a lot happening. It's very condensed, but a great opportunity.
What do you think makes an art piece attractive to an investor?
I think it's really, everyone always says this, but it's what you love, and it's about a story. And a story doesn't necessarily have to be something that you read beforehand about the artwork. It's looking at a piece of work and recognizing something and maybe seeing a bit of yourself in it, and seeing the work as perhaps something that could be an extension of your story and a way of telling your story. So I think if a work speaks to you, then it's definitely worth exploring.
All right, very quickly before I let you go, what is the plan then? We've just hit a big, significant milestone. 10 years is a big, something to be celebrated, especially when considering how a lot of events and a lot of kind of plans fail along the way, just simply because of sustainability and the like and external factors. You guys have managed to hit the 10-year mark, so what's the next step for it?
We're wanting to go bigger. We're wanting to have more galleries from the continent and more galleries from overseas. With a target on South America, we think it could be really interesting to connect the global south. So definitely watch this space. There's been a lot of applications for the fair for this edition, so we really anticipate it only growing.
Definitely, and all the best for it. Of course, it is that Investec Cape Town Art Fair that will be held for the next couple of days or so in Cape Town. If you're around Cape Town, please make sure that you get yourself a ticket and come enjoy, obviously, the variety of art pieces that you get to see there as well. And they get to mingle. 6,000 VIPs, 23,000 people from across the globe. Something to really celebrate, isn't it? But with